a global team. We have people from US, UK, Australia, and India. Quite a few people.
Very good.
So, and we are all eager to meet you all. We are just finishing the meditation. So everyone, if you can turn on your videos, you can turn on. So I have muted every one of you for now to start with. So our beloved Patri Ji, founder of Pyramid Spiritual Societies India, is here with us. Sir, thank you so much for gracing us. So this is the inaugural session of our new program called Guru Sangatya. So what we are going to do on this platform going forward is every month we are going to be in the presence of one renowned guru, and it is really great and for us to be in your presence and to start with you, who's one of the greatest gurus walking on earth. Thank you so much for joining us today.
First, please introduce yourself and tell about yourself.
Sure, thanks. So, as many of you know, or whom you don't know, I am Hari. So I have been meditating from past 20 years, currently living in Melbourne, Australia. So working as an IT professional, but I'm fully into meditation and meditation activities as I realized spreading the science of meditation is my sole purpose to the whole world. So whoever I meet in my life in past 15 years, every person I met till date, even for a brief time, even for 10 minutes, I made sure I teach them or tell them or talk to them about meditation, at least tell them that there is something called meditation in this world. And we have founded, after coming to Australia, so we have coined a name for our work called Breath Universe, through which we have done various programs across Australia and also on online platforms. Sir, if you allow us, I have a small 2-minute presentation about all the works that we have done. Can we share that with you?
Immediately.
Yes, doing it, sir. Just give me a second. Excellent. So I hope everyone can see my screen. So welcome to Guru Sangatya, the program today, where we are in the presence of our beloved Brahmarshi Pitamaha Subhash Patri Ji. Welcome everyone. This is our Patri Ji, one of my favorite quote and the ultimate quote. Your parents, your husband, your wife, your children, your friends, your neighbors, gods, none can take care of you. Only your meditation can take care of you. And this is our baseline to say for any problem or anything, whatever you'd say, oh, what should I do now? As soon as you get a question, the only answer or the only solution that we give to the world is meditation. That is our tagline, and thanks for giving and making it, simplifying it, what's the need of meditation there. And some of the programs, so as we have founded this Breath Universe in 2016, we have conducted numerous programs in Melbourne, Australia, and also online. So to start with, back in 2017, even when the online programs were not that famous back then, so we have done an extensive 5-day online summit called Breath Awareness Summit, engaging around 12 masters across the globe. And our beloved Guruji, Subhash Patri Ji, also has given us a talk for 5 days. Around 300 to 400 participants have practiced meditation and also breath awareness for 5 days, and practiced vegetarianism and also sattvic food for 5 days. And it was a huge success, and we were able to bring the world together by involving masters across the globe, starting from US, Europe, India, Australia. That was one of our prestigious program that we have done. It was a grand success. And another program we have done was a workshop, how to meditation for a joyful life. Myself and Srimati Saroja Gullapalli have conducted workshops in Melbourne on joyful living. And it was a grand success, have participated so many, participants, and conducted quite a few workshops near the community centers around. And other program is, there is a psychic well-being course that happens around Melbourne and Australia, where people, various spiritual organizations participate there and then teach meditation. So we have participated in multiple psychic well-being and heart-mind workshops, and we have taught meditation for hundreds of people there, and it was grand success. And we have distributed free tabletop pyramids to all of them to take away, and then spread about not just meditation, even vegetarianism so strongly, and that was a great success as well. And then Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi have come to Melbourne last year, and we were so grateful and so happy that we were able to get his time and organize a wonderful interactive talk on meditation, the pathway to self-realization. That was a grand success as well, and so many people have participated in the present and taken the knowledge from Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. And Sri Vedananda Baba Guruji, who's a Himalayan master who came here last year as well, and we were able to do a program with him in Melbourne, and it was a grand success. And we have a few programs that happen, ongoing programs that we have that we are conducting in Melbourne. So we have conducted programs in Sai Baba temple here, and every Saturday from past 1.5 years, every Saturday morning 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. we are conducting weekly meditation sessions. And we have conducted Sai Akhanda Dhyanam 5 Thursdays with a motto of sitting for more than 3 hours in silence, and stay in silence as much as possible on Thursdays. So that was a grand success as well. And we conduct full moon meditations every month. Around 20 odd people join there, and we do meditation and discussions throughout the night. Those were the most wonderful sessions that we ever have. And we are conducting multiple meditation sessions in IT offices in Melbourne. Few of the IT offices, especially in my office, I have started in this lockdown, where around 300 employees are there, and quite a few people are joining and then utilizing this opportunity of learning meditation. And we have a library here and with around 200 odd books, and we freely give it to people to read and give it back. And our motto of Dhyanam, Swadhyayam, and Sajjana Sangatyam, all our programs are based on these, where do more meditation and also do more discussions and read as many books as possible. So this is a short glimpse of the programs that we are doing here in Melbourne. And while telling this, before closing about me and the Breath Universe, I would like to personally thank the Breath Universe team who are making all these things happen. So I would like to personally call out the names also, wherein Suresh, who is from Melbourne, Australia, who conducts online workshops. Any online workshop, the moment I say, he picks up and then make sure that everything is ready, the stage is ready, and the tests, make sure the live and everything goes fine for so that whoever joins, the master joins, it's a seamless activity for them without any disturbance. And my special thanks to Suresh. And Chandana, whenever there is a big program, she comes up with different concepts. Let's say it's her idea to come up with this kind of beautiful PPT, and when there are expos and all, she comes up with new ideas, and then make sure she puts up she designs the program really well. And thank you so much. And Priya, who's a prime person in running our Breath Universe page, she makes sure she finds jewels of quotes every day. No one can move away from the quote the moment they look at the page. And from past more than 1 year, she never missed even once, and make sure that every day the page is hit with something positive every day. Thank you so much, Priya. And Sri Lakshmi, who edits all the concepts, all the questions, or all the matters or things that we publish and pamphlets that we make. And without her, the editing wouldn't have been so easy. Sorry if I have, and I should not forget to mention Saroja Gollapalli, who is not here today, who is taking a session somewhere else. She is our backbone. Any program we do, she comes first and then say, let's do it, Hari. Yes, you can do it. Let's all do together. So she joins and gives us a lot of energy. And I would like to thank on this occasion, Srimati Saroja Gullapalli as well. So this is our team and this is our work, which is happening across Australia. Thank you so much to the team, and let's do more and more and make Australia and the whole globe, filled with meditators. Thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to give a brief introduction on the activities that are happening around.
Thank you, Baba. Very good. Excellent.
Thanks, sir. So in today's program, sir, we'll start with your message, and followed by, we would like to do a kind of, with your permission, we have a few questions that quite a few people have asked, I have gathered. So once your message is finished, I'll ask those questions and I'll unmute those people so they can talk to you personally.
We will start with the questions first.
Oh,
Finally,
excellent.
I'll give the message.
Okay, excellent, sir. Okay, thank you so much. So I'll start with the questions. If possible, please show your videos as possible. So I'll start with the question from Shibu. How to live joyfully always? Are there any tips to live joyfully? What is the way of a joyful life?
Can I see the questioner also?
Questionnaire. Okay, let me just show you the
Hello,
question.
Patriji. This is Shibu.
Yes, sir. What is your question? Repeat.
So my question was around how to live joyfully, because I remember when I was a kid and even while growing up, I used to be very, very joyful. That used to be my nature. But as I grew up and things started, more and more clouds started coming up. So I just want to go back to my joyful nature. I'd just be the joyful person that I used to be.
This is what Jesus Christ said. Unless you become like a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. Hari, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Very clear. Yes, go for it.
No problem?
No problem. Go for it, sir.
Right. Jesus Christ said, unless you become like a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. And unless you enter the kingdom of God, there can be no joy. Kingdom of God is kingdom of joy. And unless you become like a child, you must become like a child. As a child, we were all in kingdom of God.
Okay.
We were all in the kingdom of joy. But now we have become adults. We are stuck up with a nasty mind, a devilish mind, a demonic mind, which sees shortfalls everywhere, in everybody. We should not see any shortfall in anybody. We should regain our childlike nature. And that is possible only through meditation. So you know that whatever question you put, my answer will be only meditation.
Yep.
So you must all be ready for that. The question does not matter. The answer is meditation. In whatever words you coach your question, the answer is always the same, because all roads lead to Rome. All questions lead to meditation. Question means a quest. That quest leads for meditation. Everybody is in the quest of meditation. Meditation is the summum bonum of spirituality. Meditation is the summum bonum of religion. Meditation is the summum bonum of decent humanity. A nice civilization, civil behavior. So everything boils down to meditation. In meditation, you become the master of the mind. Then you will have a joyful life, forever joyful life. You will be as joyful as Jesus Christ. You will be as joyful as Kabir or any great master who have all done great meditation. You have to do meditation like all of them. Then you will be similarly candidate for the kingdom of God, the kingdom of joy. Thank you very much, sir. Any other question from
Thank
you?
you, sir.
Any other question from you?
Not at this time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shibu. So next, Suresh, would you like to go ahead with your question, or do you want me to read?
You go ahead.
No, I want to see the person.
Yes, Suresh, go ahead, please. You can ask the question.
Hey, go ahead, question. I can. Oh, you want me to ask the question? Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, this is Suresh from Melbourne. So I've been meditating for past like a few years, maybe two years close to. So I think Hari helps me in between the things when I'm going through some questions in the meditation. But I've gone through a lot of different experiences, which always I share anytime with Hari or someone in our group. So sometimes these experiences I get different, like some in the dream, or I can really sense while I am awake, but I don't know how to interpret those messages. Like sometimes I see like what is that message is telling me. And as in meditation we say you connect to your guru, but you hear some people in the meditation say that you hear your inner thing, but I don't know how to interpret those messages and understand, okay, this is what it means, or this is what it unfolds. So how we going to that phase of understanding what you are going through in meditation experience?
Swamiji, I thank you for putting this question. First of all, you cannot understand your experience. It is just like even after marrying for 30 years, you cannot understand your wife. and your wife cannot understand you. Although living in for 30 years in the same home, we cannot understand. We should understand that we cannot understand. That is enlightenment. You have meditation, you will have experience in meditation. Don't analyze them. You cannot analyze them to your own satisfaction. Forget about analysis. Why should you analyze? Encounter more and more experiences in meditation. Gather more data. When you gather sufficient data, something automatically comes out of it, some understanding by itself. You don't try to analyze it, but it comes by itself, that understanding. You must wait patiently until that understanding oozes out of it.
Okay.
It is like, after 30 years of marriage, some understanding oozes out of husband and wife relationship, although they have been fighting every day. Some understanding also oozes out. Same thing, when you do constantly meditation over the years, some basic understanding comes out of it, basic enlightenment, which is beyond doubt. So wait for your own understanding, Baba. Don't analyze. Gather more data from yourself and from others. Listen to others' meditation experiences. Gather that data. Read books about meditation. Gather the data. Do your own meditation. Gather the data. Keep on gathering the data. Don't be in a hurry to analyze. You cannot analyze. I have never analyzed, but I have been gathering my data over 40 years. So some basic understanding has come to me so that I am able to teach everybody. Out of my own meditation experience, out of my gathering experience for millions of people, then my reading books on meditation by thousands of people, I have gathered a basic understanding within me that meditation is very good for so many reasons. Everybody will come to that understanding. Please don't be in a hurry to analyze or interpret your experiences. Keep on gathering your experiences day after day, month after month, year after year, lifetime after lifetime. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, sir.
Suresh, do you have one more question, Suresh? Or
if you have time or like?
Yeah, go for it.
Sir, I have one more question. During this last couple of years phases, some weeks we go through intense meditation. Like I feel like to do 1 hour at a stretch, or 2 hours, or 2-3 times in a day, sometimes in the weekend. So I just sit and do. So sometimes I feel like I'm I want to be in a quiet and lonely space away from what I'm doing in the normal world, like, my job or family or something. Sometimes I don't feel like connected. So I want to be alone somewhere. So you tend to be a little bit miss the balance, or like, is it like sometimes I feel away from what I'm doing now and want to be away alone somewhere, like I miss that peacefulness. So how to still get into the balance of the current and continue your spiritual path?
You are already a balanced person, Baba. You are not out of balance. You are right on the track. Whatever you want to do, you do it. Sometimes you want to be silent, sometimes you want to talk, sometimes you want to go into nature alone, sometimes you want to be with the group. So whatever you want, you do it. You are not at all out of balance. You are in balance.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now Sridevi from Sydney. Sir, we have an interesting person. So I got a call from Sridevi madam a few weeks back. So what she told me, something really amazed me, is like she found your video on PMC channel about pyramid and pyramid energy, and she didn't know about anything at all. And then just by watching your video, she did some research and started making pyramids on her own. She don't even know that there's something called pyramids exist. So she filled her room with the pyramids, and then she found Sai Kumar Reddy sir's contact and then called him and said, somehow there is this urge in me to make more and more pyramids. So what is it? I found this video. So she's here with us today. So she want to ask a question and interact with you from Sydney. Sridevi madam, please go ahead.
Namaste, Patrika. Mama.
Namaskar, madam. Namaskar. Namaskar. Tell me about yourself first.
Sir, మమ్మీ కోసం తెలుగులో చెప్పొచ్చా? మా మమ్మీ కూడా
తెలుగులో చెప్పండి. తెలుగులో చెప్పండి. నో ప్రాబ్లం.
కూడా మా మమ్మీ
చెప్పండి.
మాట్లాడాలనుకుంటున్నారు.
మీరు మాట్లాడండి ఫస్ట్.
ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ సిడ్నీ సార్. ఐఎమ్ శ్రీదేవి. నేను క్రియాయోగ సిద్ధయోగ తెలుగులో చెప్పండి, మమ్మీకి అర్థం అవుతుంది తర్వాత. క్రియాయోగ సిద్ధయోగ అని ఎన్నో ఇయర్స్ నుంచి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నాండి.
Afterwards, we'll talk about your mom. Your mom is not important. You are important. Now, speak.
అడుగుతున్నాండి. ఆమె మెడిటేషన్ ఇప్పుడు 3-4 అవర్స్ ధ్యానంలో ఉంటే తనకి ఒక 1 hour సెమీ స్లీప్, హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ ఇది మెడిటేషన్, డిఫరెంట్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అవుతుంది. అది మొత్తం కలిపి మెడిటేషన్ అంటారా? అది ఆమె క్వశ్చన్.
అంతా మెడిటేషనే. మెడిటేషన్ ఏది వచ్చినా అంతా మెడిటేషనే. నిద్రపోయినా అది మెడిటేషనే. ధ్యానంలో ఏది వచ్చినా అది మెడిటేషనే. ఆవిడ చెప్పండి.
అలాగేనండి సార్. ఐ వాంట్ టు షో మై పిరమిడ్స్. జస్ట్ హావ్ ఎ లుక్.
వెరీ గుడ్ పిరమిడ్స్ బాబా.
So she's very excited that she did on her own without having any pre-knowledge, just by watching your video.
Yes, sir. Just I tried. I'm 1 second.
Yes. I am seeing the pyramids. Continue.
Okay, yeah. Madam, you can ask your question now.
I want to show these pyramids. That's all, sir. I'm so happy with this Anapanasati. That's it. I have no questions.
Great.
When did you find out about the pyramids? When did you? How many months back or years back?
Pyramids? Just 1 month back, sir.
1 month back?
Yeah.
Okay. You are very fast lady.
Oh, thank you so much.
And how are the pyramids working for you?
I'm enjoying, sir, actually. I'm enjoying. Simply so peaceful. And I can't say anything right now.
Carry on, Baba, with your pyramid research.
Actually, I'm new to Anapanasati.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, sir, while we are talking about pyramids, personally, someone has asked me this question. I couldn't find any reference, probably. So, pyramid and pyramid energy is so powerful. And was there any reference in our Indian scriptures as such in Puranas or Vedas, any mention about the pyramids or pyramid energy, or is it corely from the Egyptian history that it has come?
I don't think there is any reference in Indian literature.
Okay.
I have not come across.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you, sir.
But we are world citizens. We are not Indian citizens.
Yeah, of course. Yes. 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 Yeah.
We are Earth citizens. We are world citizens.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for that question. So now we have Leela. Leela Macheti from Melbourne.
Hi.
Hi. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah.
And if you can turn on your video, that would be great. So he can see you as well. It's okay even if you have, anyone else.
Yeah, sorry. My video has some problem. Okay.
No.
Thank you so much, Pratiji Garu. I so fortunate to have you on this platform. And my sincere thanks to Hari Garu, seriously. Without him, I wouldn't have come to this path maybe. So he inspired me each and every day, really, seriously. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions. Maybe I can pick up one or two.
One.
One? Okay, fine. So in Gita, Krishna always says that to do your dharma and then do your karma and leave the result to the God. So
Yeah.
as I really understand that dharma is something that it keeps varying according to everyone's situation. But the core principles are always constant to everyone on this earth. How do we understand those core principles? Because we never studied in our colleges, universities, or from our previous generations or family. So unless I don't understand, I cannot implement and I cannot pass my knowledge to my kids as well. So
Your college will not teach you anything. Your family will not teach you anything. Only Gita will teach you. Only spiritual science will teach you, Baba. You must read spiritual science books. Then that you will understand. It won't come to you from your parents. It won't come to you from your school teachers or college lecturers or your neighbors. It comes from spiritual science literature. You must read Osho. You must read Tolkien Saraydarian. You must read Leadbeater, Annie Besant. So many masters are there who have thrown light, who have dedicated their lives for spirituality. You should also dedicate your life like them.
okay.
Like an Annie Besant, like Blavatsky, like Leadbeater, like Osho, like Aurobindo, like Yogananda Paramahansa. You have to also dedicate your life, Baba.
Okay.
Have you dedicated your life to understand the truth and dharma? Huh?
I'm trying to understand this.
Then you will understand. If you are really trying to understand, you will understand, Baba.
True.
Next question.
Okay. Next
You can ask.
question.
Mhm.
Sorry?
Go for it.
One more
Leela.
question.
Okay. Next question is what is the key to maintain the balance in our life?
Spirituality. Spirituality is the way you balance your material life. If there is no spirituality, your material life is doomed. Anybody's material life is doomed without spirituality. That thing which keeps material life in balance is called a spirituality, spiritual science.
Okay.
And spiritual science is based upon meditation.
Mhm.
Are
Okay.
you doing meditation?
Yes, from past few months I started doing it, sir.
Then you must be knowing about balance in life. Because
Of
your
course,
meditation gives you balance in life.
Definitely, yeah. I witnessed that, like certain level of
Then-
balance come into picture to me.
Then you know it and still you put a question as if you don't know.
I mean to say like in all the ways, up to certain from my family level, yes, I can feel that balance, but in all the levels, like how can we balance that?
You must become like a Buddha. You must do as much meditation as him. You must be as committed as him. Are you as committed as Buddha? No.
True.
Then how can you get that kind of balance?
True. So the
You
more
must
and
do
more we
meditation.
do, more and more we connect.
You must do meditation in such a committed way as Gautam Buddha, as Jesus Christ, as Kabir, as Sant Gnanadev, as Osho.
Yeah.
You must become like them, Baba.
True. Thank you.
Are you going to become like them, or yes or no?
It's hard to say, sir, because we have family, we have all the responsibilities. So
Arey Baba,
that's life
Buddha
is
had
different,
family.
right?
Everybody had family. I have a family. I don't have a family. Hari
I-
has a family. Everybody has a family. You are not the only person having family. Huh?
Not like that, sir. Buddha is like ultimate guru, right? So to
You are
reach
you, are,
that
you, you,
stage,
you also become ultimate guru.
oh,
Hari is
hopefully, thank you.
Yes.
Hari is ultimate guru. Hari is ultimate guru. Saroja Gullapalli is her ultimate guru. Why
Yeah.
have you not become? Huh? You are
True,
very
I'll
lazy.
seriously
You are
think
very
about
lazy. You are very lazy person.
True.
You don't want to do hard work.
True.
That is the
I'll-
problem of every. That is the problem of every human being. They are very lazy people. They want something, but they don't want to work hard.
True.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Leela. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, sir.
So next, we have a question from Priya on Guru. Priya, can you please go ahead and ask? She's from Melbourne. She's one of our core member of Breath Universe. You can unmute yourself and go ahead, Priya.
Hello, namaste, Andy. My question is about Guru. Like,
I want to see you.
oh, sure. Namaste, Andy.
Namaste, namaste.
It's about Guru. Like, a producer, wherever we read, it always talks about, like, every book talks about Guru. But my problem is how to actually find him, how to recognize him. Even if I see him coming, how I know that he is my Guru. Or even if I find him, I don't know how I'm gonna, be friend and treat him as Guru, or I don't know. So Guru,
Wait.
that's my
wait,
question.
Wait. Nobody is your guru. First
Okay.
of all,
Mm-hmm.
only your breath is your guru.
Okay.
So you have a breath, yes or no?
Yes.
Then go to your breath.
But whenever I read these books, like Yogananda Paramahamsa or Swami Rama or Milarepa, like doesn't matter. Whatever book I read, it says about a guru. It gives, like, there are quite a few books, like that says the
See,
greatness of Guru.
I don't like the word guru.
Okay.
I like the word informer.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody will inform you if you want to learn music.
Mhm.
Somebody will say, okay, there is some master here in that lane, in that road. You're going to talk to him. So he becomes your guru, informer.
But but most of the scriptures say that Guru is God. You just serve him. You don't raise
Everybody,
your voice. You don't.
everybody is God. You must change all your equations, ma'am.
Okay.
See, you got all your equations wrong. That is the problem with you.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Everybody is God. Everybody is God. Every
Mhm.
tree is God. Every monkey is God. Every dog is God. Every human being is God. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma.
Mhm.
Everything is God. You are all God. And your guru is there with you in your nose as breath. You be with your breath. Become Breath Putra, Pavan Putra, Guru Putra. Understand? So you don't have to have any other human being with you. Information is required. And whoever gives you the right information is the informer. For example, you want to go to from Melbourne airport, you want to go to Hawaii. So how do you go there? Somebody will inform you. You go to that counter, you pay the ticket, and there's the flight is there. You go and join it. Enter that door. Is he your guru? He's giving you the information that you want. So somebody comes to me, sir, I want balance in my life. So what should I do? So I am an informer to them. Oh, close your eyes, observe your breathing. Your breath is your guru. Go to your guru. I am an informer. I am not anybody's guru. And nobody is my guru.
Okay.
I got information from somebody and I have implemented that. And I become a possessor of truth. My own truth, my own godhood.
Okay.
So all your equations are wrong about guru and God.
Yeah.
So please revise them.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. We'll do. So,
Great, great.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
Certainly. Definitely.
Oh, that's a very good news from you.
Yeah, but because it kept me in my mind. It is bugging me. Trust me, it is bugging me from a couple of years. Like, whenever I see, think of a guru. Do I need to respect him? Do I need to bow to him? Do I need to see him? And how can I find him? Is it the right person? Plenty of questions.
So all the questions are answered now?
Yes, yes. But yeah, it is really good.
See, an informer is called a Kalyana Mitra.
Mhm.
He is a friend who is giving Kalyana to you.
Mhm.
He's taking good care of you.
Yeah.
Guru is only your breath. I cannot be guru to anybody. I am Kalyana Mitra to everybody. I inform
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay, whoever wants
Thank you.
meditation, I will
Yeah.
teach them the way to do meditation. I'm
Mm.
not a guru. I'm giving the information.
Mm.
Right? It's like if you want to learn a car, somebody is there. Okay, this is clutch, this is accelerator, this is the steering. You do it. So are you going to bow down to that fellow?
No.
Then why do you bow to me?
Okay.
He is teaching
yes.
you car, and I am teaching you meditation. Where is the difference? Why should you bow down to my feet? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Don't. That's wrong.
Okay.
Excellent.
Learning driving is the same as learning meditation or learning music
Mm.
or learning dance, learning swimming. Somebody is there to inform you about that. That's all. It is your commitment, it is your dedication that will make you a master, not some guru.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Baba?
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Priya.
Thank
So
you.
now next is Chandana. Come on. Chandana, are you there? Excellent. Unmute yourself. I'll unmute you. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Now, what's happening, Baba?
Everything going very, very good, sir. Very well. We are very happy to see you today.
First of all, tell me about yourself. When did you come into meditation? To everybody.
Hi, friends. Thank you for giving me opportunity, sir and Hari. My name is Chandana. I've been meditating from past 16 years. I started doing meditation when I was in my final year of engineering. And my mother actually forced me to one of the meditation classes. By the way, she is Dhyana Jagat editor now, Vani madam. And she used to force us to all the meditation classes. And I had I was thinking at that time that meditation was only for the old people and not for me. But it didn't take much time for me to realize how wrong I was. After doing lots of when I was into the meditation classes, I met Premnath sir, who has thrown me challenges saying, if you do meditation, you will achieve anything. Meditation is the only thing you need to do. So then that was the first time when I did 40 days of meditation. I took it as a challenge. It has changed my life.
Which year?
It was in 2004. So just after I finished meditation. So just after I finished my engineering. Then after I have meditated for 40 days, I met my Patriji. And when I met him for the first day, I still remember, sir, I asked you, sir, can you please give me a message? You told me that not one message, madam, I'll give you 3 messages. And you said, I was very happy I'm getting 3 messages. And you said, do meditation, do meditation, do meditation. Meditation, your breath is your guru.
Okay.
So from that time till now, whatever life challenges I got, whatever life situations I have seen, meditation was my only hope, and meditation was my only guru, and breath was my guru. And I lot of things I have learned with the meditation, which is spiritual science. I realized that my life is not a chance. I can create my own life, and I have free will in every aspect of my life. And so with your energy, as you said, I have noticed your energy around me all the times, and whatever challenging situations I was in, and if I am stuck somewhere, you were always there. With your permission, I can share my recent experience, sir.
Please do it.
This is a most recent experience, and I can say this is the biggest achievement of whatever I've learned in my life. After 7 years of meditation, I was longing for a child, me and my husband. And as all we know, if we have any challenges, the first thing we do is meditation. So I started doing meditation. My mother helped me, calling the angelic childs and doing cosmic suggestions. I was doing all I was, and finally I conceived, but I ended up in miscarriage. At that moment, I started blaming myself. I don't know why. I've done a lot of, I've been doing meditation. I was on the right track, but at that moment, I just drenched myself and I started blaming myself. And I was going low and low. Before doing meditation, I had a habit of writing my pain in a letters and just putting in front of God, and then again saving in the books. I didn't do it after I came to meditation. That was the first time, sir, if you remember. I just put all my feelings into a paper and I have posted it to you. And soon after you have come to Melbourne, and you just told me one sentence, that is, don't let guilt enter you. If you let the guilt enter you, it will create a block, and you need to work again a lot of times to clear that blocks. And then you said, of course, sir, whatever has happened to me is like very, I can't take it. Then you just said, you should be very happy that you have helped a spiritual master to spend some moments on earth. Why can't you think in that way? It changed the perception I had towards my life. You have a free will in every situation, but with my free will, I have drenched myself. But just with your guidance, I was able to uplift myself, and I thought of let go the past. And of course, sir, after reading the book which you have given me, The Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu, and I let go the past, and I started the meditation again, and now I have two beautiful daughters. Every challenges you have in your life, you learn really beautiful things. Even though I was like doing meditation, and I was thinking that I was ready to any challenge in my life, but when it actually came in, how did I took it? But then, sir, you were there to guide me if I'm going in the wrong path, and then I was able to come back, which I'm really happy, and I have achieved what I was longing for. And I can say that this is one of the beautiful experiences which have happened in my life. And I always wanted to say that whatever it is, don't leave meditation. Meditation will guide you, and it will give you what you want. That's it.
Wow, that's great. So take this statement from me from now. Every guilt is a fresh blunder. So never have any guilt for what has happened. If you have guilt now, it's a fresh blunder for which you have to pay. So every regret is a fresh blunder. So never have regret. Everybody commits mistakes. So what? We should forget our mistakes. Please repeat after me. Every regret is a fresh blunder. Chandana.
Every regret is a fresh blunder.
So no, don't make any blunders.
Yes, sir. I will not regret any. I stopped regretting for anything which has happened in my life.
That's it.
All right.
Thank
great.
you, Baba.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chandana. Next, Manoj Jawar. Manoj. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Hello, sir.
Manoj.
Namaskar.
Hello, sir. This is Manoj. This is from Hyderabad, sir. Manoj. So my question is on the bodily pains and chronic diseases, sir, on body. I mean, I continuously, without my interference, I keep on getting these rheumatic pains every couple of years, and it really disturbs me end to end, sir. I mean, sitting in meditation, doing any daily activities, and get frustrated. Children, wife, everyone. I mean, in that moment, I see to be a frustration, and it continues. I never know the reason that why this recurring thing happens in life. These bodily pains. So, what exactly could be the reason, and what I can do for these things, sir?
You must go into past lives to understand the reason. Then how can you go into the past lives? Through meditation or through hypnosis.
Okay.
Through hypnotic regression, you can go into past lives, or through meditation, you can clear your past lives. Are you doing meditation?
Yes, sir, I do.
Then what is the problem with you?
I mean, sitting long in the sense, I mean, few minutes, the pain will start, sir. I mean, in my knee and ankles, I'll not be able to sit properly.
You have to overcome your problems, Baba. I have to overcome my problems. Hari has to overcome his problems. You have to overcome your problems. Your parents have to overcome their problems. How can you overcome your problem through meditation? You must have more determination, Baba. Everybody has the determination, but you must jack it up. You must solve your problems. All problems are solved only through meditation. All questions are answered only through meditation, Baba. So, do you want me to help you? I can't help you. You have to help yourself. Do you think I don't have any rheumatic pains?
No, sir.
Only you have pains in the whole world? No. Do more meditation. Be a man.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Excellent.
Sure, sir. I will continue. Yeah. More long sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How did Gautama Buddha do meditation? What level of meditation he has done? He was worried about everybody else's problems, not his problem. And you are not doing anything for your own problem? Well, what is the difference between you and Gautama Buddha? He left the palace for the sake of everybody else.
Yeah.
And you are not doing anything for your own sake. Arey Baba, do something like Gautama Buddha. Raise yourself to that level,
Sure,
Baba. Don't be a small fellow. Be a big-hearted man, big man. Be a big Buddha. Okay?
Got it, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Hari.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Manoj. And next is Shilu, Srilakshmi, and my little one, Laukya. So you want to say hello and ask a question? You there? Speak out, Shilu and Laukya. I'll unmute you. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, what's happening, Baba?
All going well, sir.
All going well. Huh?
Yeah. We've started making Laukya do meditation from last couple of weeks. So she's doing for 5 minutes every day.
Very good.
Yeah. And
give your message first to everybody.
my message is I've started reading more and more books, sir. And recent books that I have read is Untold Story of Sita, 1000 Seeds of Joy, and Immortal Talks 2. So second book. So I was thinking what question I need to ask you, but whenever some question I'm starting to frame in my mind, I just think that awareness is the key to everything, as Hanuma has told us. So awareness, what we need to do is meditate more and be more aware, whatever it might happen. Even our mind suggests to judge someone. I think ultimately it is becoming aware that we are judging someone, and that what stops everything and leads us to enlightenment.
You are right. That is your message. I'm very happy.
Thank you, sir. One thing, as I talk to you, I want to clarify, sir. So I have attended Shambhavi Mahamudra program, and I have learned Shambhavi Mahamudra, and I have been doing it, and I have observed a slight difference in terms of like in practical sense of what energy is, sir. Like I don't know, like when I did Anapanasati, that was like a free kind of meditation, in the sense that you can observe yourself and you are able to progress in your meditation, and that naturality is there. But when I'm doing Shambhavi Mahamudra, I can feel that energy. Like, for example, when I'm in a situation where someone is shouting at me, I can feel that I am acting in that situation. It is my character which is acting in that situation, and I can withhold myself without reacting to it. My question is, sir, but two types of practices always confuses oneself. So is it okay to do two types of practices, or better stick to one kind of practice?
See, when you take up two methods, something will be better than the other. See, if Balamali Krishna is singing and I am also singing, whose voice is better? My voice or Balamali Krishna's voice? His voice is better. I am also singing, but he is also singing. Between two faces are there. Whose face is more beautiful? Somebody's face is more beautiful. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Both at the same level. Nobody at the same level. Always somebody higher, somebody. My mom was cooking. So who was the best cook? My mom was the best cook. Even when you make sambar, two people make sambar. One sambar will be better than the other sambar, isn't it?
Yes.
Similarly, when you are practicing two methods, one method is better than the other method. You will understand by your own experience. When you are doing research, you are taking up 2 or 3 methods to study, but there is a conclusion, this is better than that. So you do that. You leave the other 2 things and you stick to one thing, which is the best thing to do. When you go for marketing, buying vegetables, you see all the vegetables, but you will see which is the best fresh vegetable, and then you go and buy that. Same thing with the methods also. Whichever is the best method, you stick to that. I found the best method is Anapanasati, that's all.
No, my question is, sir, can't we do both the methods?
You can do it. You can do 3 methods, 4 methods, why not? But conclusion should be there. You are doing research. When you are taking 2 methods, you are doing some research. You are doing an experiment. But after the experiment, the conclusion is there. The research finding is there. See, research is for a finding. Experimentation is for a conclusion. You come to the conclusion, Baba.
Mm.
Have you come to the conclusion?
Yeah, Anapanasati is like more freedom oriented, sir. Like your free will is more there. But there are certain restrictions when we do Shambhavi Mahamudra. So
you decide for you want restrictions
easiness
or free will? Whatever you want. I don't want any restrictions for myself.
Yeah.
I am a free bird. I have tested everything. I have found only Anapanasati, so I don't speak of anything else. I have gone to every master. I have practiced everything. But I said, no. Neti. Finally, iti has come. This is the final thing.
Excellent.
So you are doing experimentation, that's good for you. But come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
Take your research to the logical conclusion. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, sir.
You don't have to be in a hurry to conclude fast. No. Go through your experiment, but someday you will come to a natural conclusion. Right?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Wait until that time. Coolly.
Yeah.
Great.
Don't reject your experiments. Be happy you are doing experiments.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Be
you,
happy.
sir.
Thank you.
But I'm always thankful to you, sir, because what I have learned from Anapanasati, and what not only Anapanasati, but the way you live your life and the way you set as an example. I really am thankful, sir, because that was the thing that I learned from you.
I am a free bird and I am not guilty. Remember this point.
Yeah.
And I am with Anapanasati. And I am with Ahimsa.
Yes, sir. That is one thing, sir, because I think it was in 2004, Dhyana Mahayajnam, that it was just a flick of a moment. You asked everyone, 31st December at 12 o'clock, you said, take one resolution in your life that you want to implement from now on. And that was just a flick of a moment. I then decided I will be vegetarian for the rest of my life. And it's been like 16 years, sir. And I'm thankful that I learned that from you.
I'm a simple man, Baba.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Shiru. Next is Divya from US, the marathon runner of Meditation Magic channel. Hi, Divya.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Sorry, good evening, sir.
Hey, what is happening?
All fine, sir. All good.
All good, all good. Okay, carry on. First of all,
Sir, I
give
have
your
a
message.
question, sir.
No, first you will give your message, then put a question.
So message is to just to meditate, sir. Whatever you have the problems, meditation is a solution, sir. That's how it's happened to me throughout my life.
When did you start
Just to-
meditation?
Started in 2002, sir, through my mother. I got into meditation, sir. Since then, I have applied meditation for every aspect of my life, sir. Just overcoming small fears to building relationships, getting good grades, and getting into a job. So, and overcoming many fears, sir. And getting physically fit. For everything, I have used meditation, sir. Meditation helped me in every aspect of my life, sir. Even now, so many fears, sir, overcoming one by one, slowly, steadily.
Every fear is a challenge for us to improve our talents.
Yes, sir.
If there is no fear, if there is no challenge, we will not improve our talents. And we have got 1 million talents within us to improve upon.
So we got 1 million fears also, sir, then.
Of course so. And 1,000 fears, 1 million fears, 1 million challenges, 1 million talents, 1 million growths.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Sir,
We want
question,
growth.
sir.
Yes, what is
Yes,
the
sir,
question,
we-
Baba? Your question is a challenge to me.
The more we
And I
meditate,
I
sorry,
like
sir, go ahead.
challenges. Yeah, I like challenges. I like questions. Shoot.
So the more we do spiritual service, sir, the more we want to do more and more, sir. There's never a point that you're satisfied. Satisfaction is a temporary thing, sir. You're satisfied for a day or so, and you are craving it for more. Is there any end to it?
You
What should we
see,
do?
first of all, tell me, are you a soul?
Yes, sir.
What is the fundamental nature of a soul?
To be in joy.
No.
Huh.
To be is the goal, yeah. What is the fundamental nature of the soul? That's what I'm asking you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the fundamental nature of soul?
To have a purpose?
No, no. Nature, that is the goal. You are talking about goals. I'm talking about asking for the nature. What is it made up of? A soul is made up of what?
Learnings, yeah.
Karma.
It's not experiences.
Karma.
To be everywhere, sir.
See, a soul is pure emptiness.
Yes, sir.
Emptiness is the nature of the soul. And emptiness is always dissatisfied with itself. So it wants satisfaction. It wants ice cream. It wants marriage. It wants children. It wants big house. It wants enlightenment. It wants third eye. It wants fourth eye, fifth eye, sixth eye. It is emptiness, so it wants everything. So dissatisfaction is the fundamental nature of the soul. So even if after even 40 years of service also, I'm still doing service because I'm not satisfied. Nobody can be satisfied because my fundamental nature of the soul is dissatisfaction. You can never go out of your fundamental nature. No way. Understand me? Even if you climb Mount Everest, you want to climb it again. You are not satisfied because your fundamental nature is emptiness, dissatisfaction. The whole Srishti creation is running because of the dissatisfaction. Then it will never end because it is a fundamental nature. You got my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you happy now? When you understand your nature, you will understand. You have joy.
Yes. Yes, sir. So keep on doing the service.
You can't but do.
Yes, sir.
Your nature forces you to do.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Right, sir.
What,
Thank
Hari?
you, sir.
Yep.
What?
Perfect, sir. That's all we can do. Just doing is what all we can do. Keep doing.
We can't but do it.
Yes.
There's no other option, sir.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you so much, Divya, and thanks, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Hari.
And
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Next, Sunil from India.
Hello, sir. Namaste.
Where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Bangalore. This is Sunil from Bangalore. Basically from Kerala.
Tell about yourself. Tell about yourself.
Yes, sir. So, yes, sir. So, I got introduced to meditation through Sampath almost about 15 years back. So, since then, I've been visiting Pyramid Valley, meditating regularly. And one of the best thing I experienced during meditation is to turn myself into a vegetarian, which happened about 13, 14 years back. Consciously, I took a decision to stop non-vegetarian food, and ever since then, I've been strictly on a vegetarian diet.
It is not
about 6.5, 7 years back, I even tried to.
Wait. It is not non-vegetarian food. It is non-vegetarian poison.
Yes,
that
sir.
is not food at all. That is poison you have been taking.
Correct.
Don't call those carcasses as food. They're all poison. They have poisoned you. So you have stopped taking non-vegetarian poison, not food.
Correct.
You thought it was food, but it was not food. It was poison.
Yes.
People, in their stupidity, they poison themselves.
True.
See, if in a petrol engine you put diesel, what happens?
The engine will choke.
If in a diesel engine, if you put kerosene, is it proper to do or improper thing to do? You are spoiling the engine. So when you, this is a you are a herbivorous animal. Human being is a herbivorous animal. You have a herbivorous body, but if you put meat into it, you are poisoning it. You are spoiling it. Don't call that as food. For a diesel engine, diesel is food. For a petrol engine, petrol is food. For a petrol engine, diesel is not food. Not proper fuel. Yes, go ahead. I just had a digression.
Yeah, so about 6 years back, I even experimented to start a vegan style of food. So I was a strict vegan for about 3 years.
Very good.
So my question is connected to this vegetarianism and veganism. So can you please provide some tips as to how to promote vegetarianism and veganism across the circle and across the globe?
See, if you are a meat eater, become a vegetarian. Then if you are vegetarian, become a vegan. That's all.
Okay. Is that clear? Sunil, you want to ask something else?
I mean, I want to the tips to promote vegetarianism and veganism across my circle.
How to teach?
You open
Tell
your
How
mouth,
to
boss.
be
You open your mouth and give the message, that's all. Open your mouth.
okay. Okay.
There are so many books about vegetarianism and veganism. Read all those books.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Collect all the information from all the masters. There are so many books are there.
Right.
See, if you want to talk about anything, you must read the books.
Hmm.
If you want to talk about meditation, you must read books on meditation. If you want to talk about North Pole, you must read books on North Pole.
Correct.
If you want to talk about Jesus Christ, you must read all those books, Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, how can you speak? And if you want to promote vegetarianism or veganism, you read books on them. Then automatically things will flow from your mouth.
Got it.
Excellent.
On any subject,
Yes, sir.
you have got books. You must read a lot of books, Baba.
Correct.
All right.
Right?
You.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunil. So we have a
Thanks,
couple
Hari.
more questions. Thank you so much. We have a couple more people. Sharath from India, Hyderabad. Sharath, you there? Chitu, yeah, go for it.
Good evening, sir. This is Sharath. I'm from Hyderabad.
Hello.
I have a question on, I've been in meditation from 2003.
Your voice is not clear.
Yeah, can you please be a bit louder or close to the microphone?
Is it clear now?
Yes, better.
So, good evening, sir. So, my name is Sharath. I'm from Hyderabad. I've been a regular visitor. I'm a regular visitor to Kartal Pyramid and also to the Bangalore Pyramid Valley.
Okay.
I'm a friend of Sam, and I started meditation in 2003. To an extent regular, but on and off. I'm a vegetarian also. So I have one question, sir, how to, there are a lot of cues, what is the purpose of life, but how to really understand clearly the purpose of life. So the life gives, experiences give, what is the purpose of life, but not very clearly. So how to really understand clearly the purpose of life, why we are on earth kind of stuff.
Why Bismillah Khan was there on the earth planet? What was his purpose of life? Music. What was the purpose of life of Mahatma Gandhi? Was it music? No. It is serving the country. What was the purpose of life of Osho? Is it music? Is it serving the society? No, it is teaching enlightenment. So everybody understands their own purpose. See, how can you understand your purpose? What are you interested in? Suppose you are interested in 4 things. Which is the most important thing that you want to do? That is your purpose. Right now, talking to me is your purpose. That's why we are talking to each other. There are so many things, other things you can do at this time. But you chose not to do all those things. You chose only this talk, this Zoom. So you can do 5 things in a life, but which is the most important thing that you want to do? Gandhiji could have been a lawyer, could have been done some business to earn money, but he wanted service to the country more than anything else. So what do you want to do more than anything else? That is your purpose. I can teach English to people, I can teach Telugu to people, I can teach music to people, I can teach cricket, but I want to teach meditation. So that gives me most satisfaction. So whatever gives you most satisfaction, that is your purpose. You have to find it for yourself.
Okay. So that
Right?
means, sir, yes, sir. So what I find, from the explanation what you have given, I find it most interesting when I am involved in facilitating meditations, both in terms of providing energy or
that is why
money or whatever it is.
That is why you are in PSSM, Baba. You are not in the music college. You are in a PSSM. You are not in BJP. You are not in Congress. You are not in TRS. You are not in politics because you don't want. You are here in PSSM. Anybody who is in PSSM has got only one goal, one purpose: teach meditation. Birds of the same feather flock together.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
The very fact that you are in PA system shows that this is your purpose of life. Otherwise, you would never be here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It is obvious.
Thank you, Sharad. Thank you so much. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so
So,
much.
Rajiv, you there? Is Rajiv there online? You had a question?
Hari, Rajiv has messaged his question. He doesn't have the camera.
Okay.
Hari,
Okay.
check the message here.
Okay. So, sir,
What is the
there are
question?
a couple of people have asked, like, about this, the current situation about COVID-19 or Corona. So, what is the purpose of it? And as a spiritual seeker, from a spiritual perspective, how should we take this situation? What's happening right now on Earth?
I don't know what is happening. What is happening?
I mean, probably from because they're not there on the call, so probably a lot of deaths and everyone suffering from.
There is no death. There is no death. Who told you that there is death?
I mean, from their perspective, leaving the bodies, mass leaving.
Leaving the body is good, but
Yes.
there is no death.
Yes. So, is
See,
there any? Mhm.
I go to Melbourne, Australia. I leave Hyderabad, but I go to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's true.
From Melbourne, I come back to Hyderabad again.
Hmm.
You leave the body, go to the astral body, and come back to the physical body again in one more lifetime.
That's true.
Where is the death, Baba?
That's true. There is no.
Those
death.
people who
That's
think
a-
of death, that there is no death. So I can't see any death anywhere. So what should I do?
Okay.
You tell me, what should I do?
Nothing. Is there any spiritual importance of these many people leaving the bodies at a time from Earth?
So many people have left the body in cyclone or in tsunami or anything. So what? They go to higher worlds. When they leave the body, they go to the higher worlds. They should understand that there is no death. All these people.
Yes, absolutely.
And they have not done that. So they are suffering. They are not understanding what is death. They have not studied. They are not spiritual. They are stupid people.
Yes,
Stupid
absolutely.
people always suffer. And they give suffering to others.
Excellent. Super. Thanks, sir. Chandana has one more question. If you permit, she want to ask one more question.
Proceed.
Yeah, Chandana, go for it.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi, sir. First, thank you for introducing new books to us. This is one of my questions, which I had the moment I was reading the books. If I could not have asked you, I would have definitely, when I come to India, I would have definitely asked you again. So I thought I'll ask you now. So my question is, sir, we have there are many spiritual masters which have secluded themselves into sannyasin mode, willingly or unwillingly, which is when their maximum inner progress has occurred. For example, in the 1000 Seeds of Joy book, Mother Teresa has realized herself at the end when she has spent on the deathbed. But the other beautiful book which you have introduced to us, Untold Story of Sita, she was living like a yogi with having a normal life. Sir, does really one need to go to this sannyasin mode in their life, at least for some time, to realize them swiftly and then come back? Or is it possible without?
Are you thinking of sannyasa?
No, sir.
Is your husband thinking of sannyasa?
No, sir.
Is he there?
Yes, sir, he's here.
Swamiji, are you thinking of sannyasa?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Yeah. Namaste, sir.
See, tell me where there are more problems, samsara or sannyasa?
Samsara.
So, where there are more problems, there is more growth is there.
Yeah, that's true.
Where there are less number of challenges, there are less growth is there.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So if samsara has got more problems, you will choose more problems for more growth.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
And if sannyasa has got less problems, they will have less growth, Baba.
Yes, sir.
Tell me why I have not gone for sannyasa? Why?
Because of less problems.
Because I want more growth.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
I want to be in the thick of the struggle.
Yes, sir.
I want to see everything in the middle.
Yes, sir.
Samsara is always good. Much better than some sannyasa. Point blank.
Can learn more.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
There is more friction in samsara. Husband and wife fighting with each other. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You have experienced it. See how you are laughing. You know, I know about it. So in that friction, there is more development for the both. So no sannyasa for pyramid masters.
Yes, sir.
Only samsara. You can have two or three more samsaras.
You
That
can
would be-
learn much more.
That would be a much more problems for you. Krishna had eight wives. Krishna. Draupadi had five husbands. No problems. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Krishna had got 8 wives, and I know how many lovers. And Draupadi has got 5 husbands. I don't know how many lovers.
That's why he became a great pyramid master.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now you got the point. Now
Yes,
you are
sir.
free to have. Now you are free to have a few more samsaras with you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chandana. So we have someone who's the Ladan. You can unmute. I can see the name as Ladan. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
Hello.
Hi.
Nice
Hi.
to see you.
Hi.
Nice to see
Hi.
you.
Lovely to see you, Patriji. It's wonderful to
Namaskar.
connect with you. Namaste.
Where are you? Where are you now?
I am in Shanghai at the moment.
Shanghai. Okay.
Shanghai. Yes, yes. It's wonderful to see your happy, jolly, healthy self as always.
I am in lockdown. What to do? I am not able to go out.
Exactly. Oh, I know. I know. I
I
know.
am chained. I am chained.
I know, but we've been through it already in China, and everything's coming back to normal now. So, but as you have been saying, there's a great lesson in all of this for all of us, for humanity.
Yes.
And until we learn that lesson, then the virus will continue. So the virus is here to teach us a great lesson. So it's good. It's good. It has lots of goodness. It's bringing us back to the family, bringing us back to what really matters, bringing us back to God. So it's great. It's great. But I wanted to connect with you and say hello and thank you for spreading the love and the light.
I am spreading more problems for everybody.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're helping greatly.
Thank you very much, Baba. Nice to see you after so many days, so many months.
Wonderful. Yes, yes, wonderful to see you too. Wonderful. It's great. You've really made my day. I'm really happy to see you.
Please tell about yourself. your whole life? When did you come into meditation? First time in your lifetime?
I came to meditation when I actually lost my mum very suddenly. She got up one morning and she had a stroke, and that was the end of it. She left the earth plane, she left her body and went to the spirit world. And I took it very, very difficult to cope with that. I didn't want to accept that that was the end of her. So a friend of mine gave me a book which helped me greatly. And that book was about life after death. And when I finished reading that book, it gave me a lot of hope. And really, that was the route for me to get into meditation, because I realized that through meditation, I can access other realities, other dimensions. And my main intention was really to reconnect with my beloved mother. And that really was a massive healing for me, to be able to meditate, go within, and know that I can communicate with my beloved mother through meditation. But of course, meditation isn't just about that. It's about discovering the self. And through losing my mother, I was able to discover who I am. Meditation being a great tool for allowing me to discover who I am. And through years of meditation, I think it's probably around almost 30 years since I've been doing meditation. And it is through meditation that I've been able to heal lots of emotional blockages that we carry as human beings. I've been able to teach many people how to also empower themselves through meditation. I've been able to heal many illnesses and diseases that, you know, they come our way through meditation, through the art of breathing. So meditation has really changed my life. It's made me who I am, who is sitting here right now. And before meditation, I used to think that I was a really kind, compassionate person. And honestly, now sitting here talking to you, there is no way I would want to go back to the person that I was before I started meditating. So I'm really glad that I discovered meditation. I'm really glad that through meditation, I'm able to fulfill my life purpose, which is living life in joy, but also assisting others to live life in joy, and hopefully making a better world for everyone and every life form that lives upon the earth. So this is what meditation's done for me.
Wow. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining this session. I never expected you. I got a bonus from you.
This is my bonus, seeing you again. So I'm really glad that I've managed to reconnect with you. So you are our inspiration. And I always talk to Madhu and Ram of really, you are inspiring us all to keep going through, no matter what obstacles come in our way. You continually inspire us to keep going, and I'm deeply grateful for that. Thank you.
You flatter me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we have a question from Shibu. Shibu, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Sure. Patriji, I just wanted to ask a follow-up question to another question which was asked by somebody else. This was regarding a body pain or a physical pain which you have in your body. And you mentioned that the reasons to understand that you have to go deep into the meditation and look into the past life. So my question is, do we have to go back to the past life and understand the reason, or can it be a forward-looking where you just heal yourself?
Seeing the past lives is not backward-looking, Baba. That is forward-looking.
Okay.
Who told you that is backward-looking? See, if you want to purchase a piece of land in your city, would you see the records or not?
Yes.
For the past 50 years, who sold it to whom?
Got it. Okay.
Unless you see the past records, you won't make a buying of that land. It is not a backward step, it's a progressive step.
Understood. So you still, going back to the past life, is it like correcting or making amends to what you have done? Unblocking? Is that why you're saying that?
It's not a question of making amends. You must know the source of the problem. Always the source of the problem in the present is in the past. And the source of the future problem is in the present. What you are now doing affects the future. What you have done in the past has affected the present, created the present. So you must go into the causes. Unless you go into the causes, you cannot remove the effects.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Shibu. So so one question, it's not from anyone, but a general question that I come across in a lot of meditation sessions. So if someone don't get any third eye experiences, what is the motivation to meditate? How should we perceive is a generic question. I want to see if your answer could be a bit more encouraging to people who ask this.
Meditation is setting the problems of the body first. Headache to cancer. It is not about the third eye. First of all, it is about the problems of the body. All problems of the body will vanish with meditation. First step. Next step, emotional problems. Inferiority complex problems. All of them vanish. So problems in the mind is inferiority complex. That will vanish. You won't feel smaller than compared to anybody else. Then, so first it sets aside the body, then it sets aside the mind, then the intellect. People don't know what is karma, what is good, what is bad. All these questions are there. All those questions are answered. Then only you will get the third eye. Not before that.
That's right.
Body, mind, intellect, Atma, soul. Third eye is Atma. To come to that, first of all, you set aside the body. All problems in the body, like body pains in the body, what are problems? Headache to cancer, everything will vanish. Then mind's problems, emotional problems, inferiority complex problems. Then the intellectual problems. What is karma? What is free will? What is destiny? All these things. Then only third eye comes, Baba.
Yes.
Straight away, you don't go into third eye.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, this is
the moment you get married, do you get a baby?
No.
You go to honeymoon first.
Yes. True. True. Yes. Thanks, sir. That answers my question. And probably no one is raising. Next is my question. In my 20 years of journey, sir, whenever I think of something that I got control on or hold on about, it could be, let's say, inferiority complex, as you said, or stand to the problem, or I can do this. Whenever I say it is all clear, a bigger challenge comes up always, right? So in terms of probably a person or it's not a problem, it's a challenge. A new challenge comes up. Is there any end? Does life or the design throw these bigger challenges at us as we grow more? Or what is the end to it?
There is no end. There is no end to life. There is no end to the soul. There is no end to the progress. There is no end to the challenges.
Okay, beautiful.
Anadi Ananta
Okay.
is beginningless and endless.
Yes.
That is the beauty of everything. Beauty of creation.
Absolutely. And my That's a very good answer. One more question of mine is commitment. When we commit to a person or commit to something, we tend to expect something out of it. Not from everything. When we especially, the more deeply we connected to something, we tend to expect something. Is that expectation right? Because we commit to something only when we love it so deeply. Either it could be a person or to a work that we do.
My dear sir, there are always two sides for a coin. One coin is there. How many sides are there?
Two sides.
So which side is better than the other side?
Both should be there.
Both are. Which is better than the other? Coin. Which is the better side?
It's very tough. It's a choice.
Both are equal.
Both are equal. Yeah, both are equal. That's what I said.
So similarly, commitment should be there, and commitment has got two sides of expectation: expectation and non-expectation. Okay. You can be committed, and expectation is there. Is as good as non-expectation. Sometimes you can expect, sometimes you should not expect. So you should know when to expect, when not to expect.
Okay. Yeah.
But commitment should be there for everything. Are you committed to your wife?
Yeah.
Do you expect something from your wife?
Sometimes not. Yeah.
So that is how it goes on. Sometimes you should never expect anything from your wife. Although she is your wife. Although you are committed to her and she is committed to you, you don't have any expectations. But sometimes you have natural expectations. So
yes,
expectations are good, non-expectation is also good.
Okay.
So commitment is, there's no question, no commitment. Commitment is always good. But commitment with expectation is equally good. Commitment without expectation is equally good. It's like that.
Okay. Got it, sir.
Got it?
Yes. Clear. Very clear. Thank you. Anyone else has any other questions? No one is raising the hands. One last chance. Excellent. Sir, I think we are good. So it's your message. The platform is yours for all of us to give something to the current.
Your final words are very good. Commitment and expectation and meditation. There are three words. We are committed to meditation without any expectations and with expectations, both. That is a paradox. Meditation is the most important thing, and we are totally committed to it under all circumstances. And we expect naturally something out of it that is equally good, and we should not expect anything out of it that is also equally good. We are here to practice non-expectation. We are here to practice commitment to meditation. And commitment to so many other things also, not only meditation. Commitment for samsara, commitment for enjoyment, commitment for entertainment, commitment for creativity, commitment to service. You have arranged this program because of your commitment to service. I am here talking to you because I am committed to service. All commitments are good, with the expectation and without expectation. Both sides of the coin are there, equally good. No, you should never expect anything that's wrong. No, you should always expect something that's equally wrong. Commitment to all good things. And out of all the good things, meditation is the best thing possible for everybody. As Ladan just now said, very beautifully Ladan has said about meditation and her commitment to it, to make this world a better world. She is totally committed to meditation. Is she expecting anything out of it? Yes and no. Yes is equally correct. No is equally correct. Today, I am very happy Ladan has come here and to give us absolutely wonderful message. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this event and also, answering a lot of questions. I'm sure this is a milestone event for a lot of people who have been practicing in the recent past. And a big thanks for you, sir, because a lot of people don't know. I saw your live going on with other team just right before for more than 2.5 hours or 3 hours, and right away within fraction of seconds you have joined here. I wish one day we all can have such amounts of energy and the joy in working like that. And thank you so much. And I'm really flattered. I'm really flat like for your commitment. And today, actually, I'm taking back the sort of commitment that you have. That's what is going to be my goal next few days, like how committed I can be like you, and move forward in this life. And thanks so much to everyone who has joined this Guru Sangatya. We'll meet next month again with another Guru with a lot of messages. And thanks a lot, sir. Have a good evening. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Suresh, you can turn off the live on